The big one's going up and down. All right, common carotid. And so this one?
Internal carotid.
Internal. And this one, it looks like it's going to the eye. Indeed it is. So this is internal carotid, and the first branch that goes through the optic canal, ophthalmic. And then you see it continues up here to form part of the circle of Willis. Let's see how much of that circle they have. Oops, sorry. So they have the vertebrals coming up, forming basilar. And then off of basilar, posterior cerebrals. So what's this little connecting piece here that takes you to the internal carotid? Posterior communicating. And then off of the carotid, we have these guys, which are anterior cerebral. And I don't see the connecting piece between them. But what would it be? Anterior communicating. So number 28, anterior cerebral. Good. And here, check my numbers. 36, posterior cerebral.
Yep.
32, basilar. Okay. And we don't need to know the pontine or cerebellar, so we're good with that. And then this branch here, external carotid. First branch off of external. Superior thyroid. And then you can check for me 13, superior thyroid. And then the next one up, oh, it's this one here. Lingual. Number 14, lingual?
No. Ascending.
Oh, they don't? 15, lingual. Okay, so ignore this one. On our list, first branch, superior thyroid. Second branch, lingual. And then 16 should be facial. And then after facial, maxillary, 15? No, 17.
17 occipital.
20, maxillary, huh?
Yes.
Superior thyroid, lingual, facial, occipital, maxillary, and then the rest of this becomes
Temporal.
superficial temporal. 19? Yeah. All right. And we don't need to worry about any of the maxillary branches. And then how about in the back here? This one. Vertebrals. And then where they come together to form the single vessel, that is basilar. You want to go over them all again? It would help if it wasn't so tall. Huh? Okay. So these. And then this one here. Internal carotid. And then this branch. Ophthalmic. And then these branches here. Anterior cerebral. And the little connecting piece between them, not shown. Anterior communicating. And then here's another branch. I can turn it sideways. Sorry. Here's another branch. I lost where I was. Oh, the back piece. That goes from internal carotid back. This little piece is posterior communicating. And then the branches that it's connecting to. I think they might have a mistake on here. Did they say 36 is posterior cerebral?
Yeah.
And what do they say 35 is?
Superior cerebral. Superior cerebral.
They show the communicating going to that one instead of posterior cerebral. I'm going to make a little note, show Jeff, see if we want to fix that. We're going to double check. All right, and then the single one right here. So we left off with posterior cerebral, which the posterior communicating should be connecting to. And then posterior cerebral is where those two come off, is at the top of this single vessel, which is basilar, right? So going backwards, posterior cerebral, basilar, and then the left and right vertebral arteries. And the left and right vertebral come off of what vessel? No?
Right and left subclavian.
Subclavian. Yep. Let's keep going with arteries. What are all of these?
Intercostals.
Intercostals.
Like all these actually have like.
How about on the side of the heart?
All these actually have like.
Right here.
Where?
And it helps if I turn it around.
Wait.
So we've got this one, this one.
All pulmonary veins.
Those are all pulmonary veins, right? And the blue on both sides. And then how about the first branch coming off the pulmonary artery?
The lobule.
The only other one you need to know from the pulmonary circuit, the lobar.
Lobar.
Because you can take each lung and divide it into lobes, and each lobe has a lobar artery. Each lung has a pulmonary artery. So the pulmonary branches into the lobars.
Do we need to know how many?
3 on the right side, 2 on the left. They don't show the left, but they do show the 3 on the right.
Oh, is that on the picture where it's the 3 tubes coming out of the heart? Is that what you're...
These are branches off of the pulmonary artery.
Okay, so
How about down here? So this trunk, just below the liver. Celiac trunk.
Which one?
Right there.
First big artery that's going
Celiac trunk. And then the artery that comes off of it right here, it's teeny tiny and it loops around. That's left gastric. And then also from the trunk, the vessel that comes this way. Common hepatic artery. And then the branch off of common hepatic that loops around and meets up with left gastric.
Right gastric.
So that's right gastric. And then after the right gastric comes off, and after gastroduodenal comes off, what's the rest of that artery called?
Duodenal? No.
Hepatic artery
proper.
proper, which goes back up to the liver. This one here.
Superior mesenteric.
So I can turn it a little. Superior mesenteric. And then that must be the inferior. It's just coming off at a weird angle. So check number 94.
Inferior mesenteric.
Okay, good. So here's inferior mesenteric.
The small one?
They have it coming off the side here.
Oh, okay.
And here's superior mesenteric. And then way up there is celiac trunk.
Yeah, wait. Can you point to see that picture?
So that's the first big branch coming off of the aorta.
Okay.
And then the next one is superior mesenteric, and then inferior mesenteric.
So inferior is kind of going off at an angle.
On this model it is. I'm not used to seeing it that way, but yeah.
Do they normally come off kind of parallel?
In the middle.
Okay.
You don't need to know the colic or sigmoid.
Is that azygos? The one next to celiac trunk?
So here, this is, so let's say the diaphragm is right about here. Okay, so what's this vessel below the diaphragm?
Abdominal.
So that's right, ascending, lumbar. And then after you go through the diaphragm, it now is called azygos, and it goes all the way in.
Is there one azygos?
Yes. So do you see the azygos?
Right here.
39.
So it starts as this,
Azygos is
and then it
more
goes all the way into the superior vena cava.
So it's more medial.
39.
So is this one or this one?
Superior epigastric.
So there, I found a couple weird things too. Oh no, but pink label, veins. 39. Azygos. Is 40 hemiazygos. Good. So coming up this side is left ascending lumbar, and then once you get through the diaphragm, it becomes hemiazygos, and it empties into azygos, which in turn empties into superior vena cava. Let's do limbs. So the artery and vein right in here. Subclavian, and then over here. Axillary, and then down in here. And their deep looks like number 55. So is that deep branch of brachial 55? The arteries, yeah, the blue. Yeah. Profundus is deep. Yep. So that's good. So in the book they call it deep artery of arm, but it's deep brachial. It's this branch here.
It looks like the
Yeah. A little higher up than the elbow. Yeah. So then you follow brachial down, and then it splits into, what's this medial one? Pinky side. Ulnar, and then the outside, radial. And then there's 3 loops down here, and you need to know the 2 more superficial ones. So the most superficial one is called superficial palmar arch, and then just below that, deep palmar arch. And then the other one is not a palmar arch at all. It's not on your list, so don't worry about the bottom one, but these first 2. And then these guys, digital arteries. So I think, and do you have the list out for arteries? I think for the upper limb it's just brachial, deep brachial, ulnar radial, and superficial and deep palmar arches and digitals.
For which one?
Upper limb. So brachial, deep brachial, radial, ulnar, deep palmar, superficial palmar, digital. So we got them all. And then how about veins? Do you have your list of veins as well? All right, so you have subclavian, axillary, and then this branch comes off, which is cephalic. So cephalic runs through the arm and forearm. And this one here, basilar, runs through arm and forearm. And then between them, brachial. And this one that comes right down the middle,
Median cubital vein. That should be the one.
antebrachial. This one doesn't have a median cubital. And there's 2 variations of the veins in the upper limb. This is one variation. This is the Y variation. So you see number 34 and 33. What are those, 33 and 34? They're going to have a similar name.
33 medium basic, and 34 is medium cephalic.
Yep. So you have these 2 median branches, meaning you're headed towards the middle. One comes off of cephalic, one comes off of basilar. They come together and they form median antebrachial. 32? Median antebrachial. There is no median cubital. Do you even see on the list here? No. So it's called the H formation, where you have median cubital.
That's
So where are the veins?
The upper lines of your H, and here's the two lower, and then here's the cross between them. So it doesn't go, horizontal, it's more at an angle. But this is the H formation, and so this guy has the median cephalic and median basilic, and no median cubital. This one doesn't have the median cephalic and median basilic, but instead does have median cubital. Yes. So median cubital is, and is that what it's called on our list? Median cubital. It's joining basilic with cephalic. And it's going right across the front of the elbow here.
Yeah, that's the H formation?
This is the H, yep, and this is the Y.
Where would it be on this one?
Median cubital?
Yeah.
It's not on there.
But where would it be? If it were there?
So instead of having these two at the top of the Y, you would just have one going across.
Okay.
But you still have your... So this is coming off the brachial.
radial.
Radial. Ulnar. And then what's this one on the way outside? Basilic. And cephalic. So you have cephalic, radial, ulnar, basilic, and then the one right in the middle? Median antebrachial. So there's 5. Okay? So cephalic is on the outside, basilic is on the inside, and then you've got your 2 branches off of brachial, radial and ulnar, and then in the dead center, median antebrachial. Your venous palmar arches are down here, and your digital veins. So let's do the same thing on here. Subclavian into axillary, and then this branch that comes off, and if you notice, it kind of goes towards the head of the humerus, and that's where the name comes from. What is this one? Cephalid means head. This is cephalic. So not referring to this head, but the head of the humerus. Cephalic goes up towards the head of the humerus. And then it goes down the outside. So that's all cephalic. And then this one? Basilic. They kind of set it over the top, but it really should be off to the side a little bit. And that one goes all the way down. And then which one is between them? Median antebrachial. And then this is brachial vein. It's really 2 side-by-side veins with the artery between them. So that's an actual, that's a correct representation. And then they split to form.
Radial and ulnar.
So here's radial, and here's ulnar, right along the bones. So here you have your 5 again.
Cephalic, radial.
Yeah, radial, this one. Median antebrachial.
Ulnar, basilic.
Basilic, yep. And then digitals and broken venous arches.
So Jeff modified these arms to take off some of the things. Are you going to be using both of them? Both the models, the one with a lot of the stuff on it, and then the one that he modified?
Either one is fine, whatever shows the vessel that I want you to identify more clearly. But I think this is fine for these 5. I don't think we need the other more complete version.
Yeah, it's a lot of it.
And then on here, what's this branch?
The deep?
It's the same as this one.
The deep?
Deep brachial. Which on the key I think says deep artery of arm or something like that.
Deep or brachial?
But it is deep brachial or profundus.
So when you get blood drawn, which
Median cubital.
So usually these, if you have the Y, or median cubital, if you have the H.
so it varies.
I mean, they'll take any nice superficial vein. Take anyone. That one's pretty juicy. They usually like this one. Sometimes I think this is my median cubital coming across there.
So the axillary artery.
This is a branch off of it. It's a humoral circumflex, I think, but not on our list. And then you have your superficial palmar arch, and then you have your deep palmar arch. And then the third one that we saw here, this one way down here, corresponds to this on the back side, which is not on our list.
Can you see what I was asking you today about like this, the stuff in the feet? Is this the only model that you can see?
Yeah, you said it's not on the muscular lower limb model, so then it would just be this one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's tackle lower. So we have iliac, common iliacs, right? And then when you see the internal iliacs come off, then you know what remains is external iliac. But then you pass through the inguinal canal and you enter the thigh. So the external iliac becomes femoral when that happens. And then this huge branch. This should be great saphenous, number 70. Yeah. Do they call it great or greater?
Great.
Great saphenous or saphenous. And then this is femoral. And then is 73. Okay, I don't think that's on our list, right? Deep femoral vein. So we don't need to worry about this one. And this should be small saphenous, number 74. Yep. Right, so here's great saphenous. Here's small. Small comes all the way down, and it ends right behind the knee. Great also comes all the way down, but then goes all the way up to femoral. And this is usually where, off of this vessel or its branches, they pull vein off for a bypass surgery. So this is like knee region here, and that's where femoral splits into anterior tib and posterior tib. So anterior should be 79. And I don't see a sticker for post.
Tibial or
Posterior tib?
is
That's small saphenous.
Oh, here. Okay. So this is posterior tib as well. Oh no, I know what it is. Popliteal. They don't have a sticker though. There's no popliteal on there, is there?
77.
They're starting it way up here. Small saphenous, popliteal. So femoral, popliteal, posterior tib, which continues down. This is posterior tib, and then anterior tib comes off. Do we have the? Can you pull out the flow chart in the book for the lower limb? I want to make sure this branching is right.
So this is the celiac trunk.
It's to the right. Other way. Other way. Other right. So flow chart, lower limb. Process.
Oh, you wanted like the words flow chart? Oh,
All right, so femoral to popliteal, small saphenous coming off. So they're saying that the small saphenous comes off popliteal, so that would all be popliteal. So femoral must end up here then. So this guy's knee's way up here, I guess. And then popliteal, and small saphenous. And then popliteal becomes,
Anterior tibial.
should be posterior tib essentially.
And then the inferior mesenteric just supplies blood to the rest of the
So this is posterior tib. And are they saying anterior comes off of posterior or popliteal?
So inferior, so superior provides most of the large and inferior supplies the rest of the large.
So anterior and then posterior. Oh, that's what kept confusing me.
That's fibular.
Yeah, so that's the one I wanted to know. So fibular or peroneal comes off of posterior tib. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Femoral, popliteal with the small saphenous, anterior tib, posterior tib, coming off of posterior tib is fibular or peroneal, and then posterior tib continues down. So from like right here, anterior tib, posterior tib, great saphenous, small saphenous. And then the one cut short is peroneal. So up here, anterior, posterior, popliteal, with the small saphenous coming in, and then femoral. And I think that covers, does that cover our list for lower limb veins? We don't have anything in the feet, do we?
Profunda brachius.
For vein?
Dorsalis pedis.
Dorsalis pedis. Yeah,
Dorsalis pedis.
Are those even on?
Dorsal venous.
81?
Dorsal venous.
Yeah, dorsal pedis.
Plantar veins and deep the last four.
So 81 is dorsalis pedis?
81 is dorsal venous.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm. And then they have 82 and 83 over those.
How confusing. Oh, they're just saying dorsal venous network. And there's no common digital, no 82.
Celiac trunk has 3 branches. Yeah.
Skipped 82.
This one shows celiac trunk having 2 branches. That's not true.
I don't know. So I don't think I would use this.
See how there's only 2 branches on celiac trunk? Yeah.
So would you just use pictures for the foot then?
Probably,
Yeah, so this one's
because it's too hard to follow the key. So we'll take it down to here, and then if we want to get foot, we'll use the picture.
there's compatic, because this one's the splenic, this major one. Oh, and this one's for getting the left gastric.
So we'll work on the rest next time. I should go do the quiz real quick. Making headway.